All right. Good morning, everybody. It is 9 o'clock. We'll get the ball rolling here. Thank you, everybody, for joining our monthly Foreman meeting. Just a reminder, there's a lot of people on this call, so please keep your microphones muted. If you have any questions or comments, you can add them to the comment section, and we will get to them. Or you can email me or text me, and we will either cover it right then and there, or we will cover it in the next month's meeting. So again, thank you all for joining. So first thing I want to talk about is a few notable incidents we've had, and they're ones that we've had frequently in the past few years. This first one was an apprentice was moving his A-frame ladder, had channel locks sitting up on the top rung when he was moving his ladder. They fell and hit his nose, and that fractured his nose, led to stitches, and gave him a concussion. So that was a recordable injury. Luckily, he was able to get back to work without any lost time there. But that was a bad injury. If that had hit him in the eye socket, it could have been a lot worse. The lessons learned for that, and I'm sure anyone that's been around for a while has had something fall off a ladder and hit them. But the lesson learned for that is obviously don't store stuff on top of a ladder, especially when you're going to move it. That's quite obvious one. Another one is one we've definitely talked about before. An employee using a bandsaw to cut 2-inch EMT overhead. One hand on the bandsaw, one hand on the pipe, instead of having two hands on the bandsaw. The bandsaw slipped, cut through his gloves, and that ended up with him needing to get a few stitches. The lesson learned for that is obviously two hands on the bandsaw. And I know that's easier said than done, especially when you're cutting overhead pipe or strut or threaded rod or whatever it may be, but you need to have two hands on those bandsaws. If that requires you to grab somebody else to hold up the butt end of the pipe that's going to be falling down, do so. If you got to tie that piece of pipe up so it doesn't fall down to the ground when you cut it, do so. If you got to take the entire pipe down, bring it to the ground, put it on a tripod and cut it like that, do so. We're going to be switching more of the bandsaws out for the ones that are dual trigger, and they are sequential, so you got to hit one then the other. You can't just zip tie the front trigger on those. So we'll be getting more of those out. We have had about 13 bandsaw related injuries in the past 2 or 3 years, and 2 alone in the past 2 months. So it's definitely a hot item. So take the time if you need to call me out to the job site if you're running into troubles of cutting things overhead and do not think you can do it without one hand on the bandsaw, call me out. We'll find something else to do, or another way to do it. I'm not just going to tell you do it with two hands, and I'm not going to give you any help. We'll come up with something. Third injury was very preventable. A journeyman tripped over a pile of studs, of aluminum studs, and anybody on a construction site knows how sharp those are. He tripped over those and then put his arm out to catch himself on the ground, and it got his forearm slit open. The lesson learned there is, one, if your work area is dirty, take it to your foreman, or tell your guys to take it to you, and then take it to the general contractor, or if you have a good relation with whoever owns the garbage, take it directly to that trade. I know most foremen we have do not have a problem bringing housekeeping items up to the general contractor, so stick with it. Make sure you guys have good, clean work area to be in. That's all I have for incidents. Now, the daily pre-task plans, those are going out at around 5 o'clock every morning. Somebody's hitting unsubscribe on the email every time. Please stop doing that. That unsubscribes the entire foreman list, and then it won't send out the next day. So please don't hit unsubscribe. If you don't want to get that email anymore, just email me. I'll take you off the list for that. It's no problem, but just please stop clicking unsubscribe. Filling out the pre-task plans, you guys are doing great. We're getting more numbers with that. I know some job sites, one general foreman will fill out a pre-task plan for all groups. I would like each foreman to do their own for each one of their crews. So please get into the habit of doing that. Another thing that's came up recently too is us not familiarizing ourselves with certain general contractors' policies. We have our own, and then they have theirs, and then the clients can have something on top of that as well. So you got to sit down and read, Gilbane's, Turner's, Skanska's, whoever it may be. You got to read their specific policies, and they're not the same for each site. Some of them switch it up for different job sites as well. If you would like me to go over them with you and read through them, because they are a couple hundred pages, some of them, but it's good to go through familiarize yourself and your guys with those, because you'd be setting them up for failure if they don't know the correct rules for their job site. The only other thing I have today is the safety meeting app. I know we talked about it a little bit. They should all be pushed out to everybody's phone now. Joe Herrick's going to talk about it in a minute here, about how to download that and how to start actually using the app. I ask that you do one a week on Mondays or whatever day works best for you. Pick any subject and do a normal toolbox talk as you would before. You don't have to do them daily. And we're not doing our pre-task plans on that app. We are doing our pre-task plans still on Smart Sheets. I'm going to turn it over to Joe Herrick so he can talk about the technical side of that app and how to download it and how to use it. Joe?
Thank you, Jason. Hey guys, how you doing? So one thing I wanted to clarify for the app, some people were, I think, a little bit confused after the last meeting. So I did send an email, but if you have the app and you have an active account, definitely start using it. I didn't mean to wait or anything like that. So anyone who has an account, definitely use it. Anybody who's curious about it and wants an account, just reach out to me. I can make you an account. I've had a lot of people reaching out, so I will get to everybody, make you your account with your password. So don't worry, I'm on it. Yeah, so basically, as far as pushing it out to the phones, everybody should be on our mobile device management software. So it's not perfect. Some people aren't on it. So if you guys don't see that self-service app that I sent in the email, that just means your device isn't on the management system. So at some point when I come out to you, I can throw you on there real quick. It's pretty simple. But if you don't have that self-service app, just refer to the tutorial and you can just download the app from the App Store like you would download any other app. So I basically pushed it out to self-service, so it makes it easier for you guys to find it. You guys have all your apps in that self-service, like Bluebeam and all the Google apps, and it's just stuff that is pertinent to the Foreman. So that's a good thing to use to just find easily all the stuff you're going to use. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as downloading it. And like I said, download it. You want to use it, just reach out to me. Everyone's username is just your email, and then I'll create you a password, and then you're good to go. And just refer back to the tutorial to use it. What I wanted to talk about today was using the favorites within the app. So I know when you're going through it and you got to add the attendees, obviously the guys on your job, guys and girls on your job, it's kind of a pain to go through the whole list of employees. So there is a feature on the app. When you hit attendees, you can hit manage employees. You can find the people, click on them, whoever's on your crew, and there's a little box that says favorite. So if you check that and hit done, those people now be a part of your favorites, which means they show at the top of the list. So that way you can just add all the people on your job, including yourself, to the favorites. So then when you're doing the leader and the attendees, they'll be right at the top. You can bang right through them, and that'll make your life easier. So I'm currently creating a tutorial for that. That'll have some pictures too. So I plan on sending that out today just to give you guys a heads up. And yeah, that's basically it. So that should make your life easier. And I've got some good feedback from using the app. The only thing is the app is a little slow. So that's nothing to do with your internet connection. We're going to try to work with them to see if they can improve their download speeds and upload speeds. But besides that, it's been working really well for people. So yeah, that's basically it. So like I said, I'll be sending you out a tutorial at some point today. And besides that, that's all I got.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, it sounds like a lot. I swear the app's easy to use. If I can figure it out, you can figure it out for sure. It's very simple, and there's every topic you could ever think of in there. So it's not the same, 100 toolbox talks we've had on Bluebeam since 2012. There's a bunch of good stuff in there. That's really all I have, guys. Have a good long weekend. Stay safe, stay hydrated. Don't drink and drive. Don't drive and drink. Our next meeting is going to be the 29th of June. It's going to roll into with the quarterly Foreman's meeting. So we'll parlay the safety into that quarterly Foreman meeting. All right, everybody, have a good rest of your day, and thank you for joining. If anybody didn't join or the Foreman on your job sites, remind them that these meetings are recorded and they'll be sent out an email later anyway. So thank you, guys.